Welcome to Mart's Garage. Hello, I've just made a special stud. It's 5/16 UNF that end. I've held it in a 5/16 die with a lock nut on it, and I've just turned it down to a quarter this end and threaded it for a quarter UNF there. So it's a hybrid stud, quarter 5/16, and I will show you what it's for in a minute. Here's my special stud. It's 5/16 there and a quarter there, and here's a bracket that I'm making. What you can see, it's got like a stub stud there and a stub stud there, and these are both 5/16, and this one will screw in there. That one will go in there, and that will give me, and then what I'll do, I'll put those two nuts on there and lock them together and tighten it, and that will give me a little bracket. I need to trim the ends off. That's nothing there, that's scrap, that's trimmed off. So I will finish it off and I'll show you where it goes and what it does. Okay, so there's the piece trimmed up, and I'll show you where it goes. So there's a 5/16 hole and there's a quarter hole. There's my bracket. That goes in there like that. So there's the two bolts done up on the inside, the two studs and nuts done up. I think that 5/16 hole is an extension of the throttle pedal setup for when it's a 4-cylinder. That's where they fit the 4-cylinder one. Okay, I'll show you the other side. Okay, so that bracket sits there, and the coil should go there, like that. So there you go. I'll put the other stud, I'll put the other one on in a minute, but that gives you the idea anyway. So that goes like that. That will go in there. So that will run like that. The wires can go on there nice and easy. You won't get tangled up in the throttle linkage. You know, I think that'll be okay like that. And you can read the high power on there now, and it's nice and secure. So that's my little job that I've done today. I'm looking at it, I'm not sure I like it. Yeah, okay. Well, it'll do for now. But at least I've established the principle that I can basically make a plate with studs to suit any bolt pattern on either side, to be honest. So I'll have a think. It might be that I want a Mark II version. I decided I liked a slightly different setup, so I've come up with a Mark II variation, which is just, actually I didn't want to have too big a bracket, so I've stuck to the simple bracket, but I've moved that point from there to there, and now I'm using these two holes instead, like that. We'll go on like that, and I think that'll look better. And I can always slide it up in the bracket. It's just that this will hide that then. Okay, I'll bolt that on then and we'll see how it looks. Hello, right. I have kind of settled on that position there for the coil, and I've took the clamp off and turned the coil round so you can't see that where it says high power. But while I'm not wildly excited about it, I think I am quite happy to put it there, at least until I decide if I hate it or not. A self-imposed limitation of trying not to drill new holes means, you know, you can't just put it anywhere. I didn't want to buy a new new lead as well, so I can't put it like at the top of the firewall. But I think that's not too bad, to be honest. There, I think that looks okay. Plus I like to, rather, plus I've heard people say, oh, you mustn't put coils upside down, but sometimes I like to just prove the point that you can actually. Okay, right, I will leave it at that for now then. That's how it looks on this side. I think I'm happier with that than the horizontal mounting, although I might try it in that other position just to see what I think, but I think that's okay. And I only had to drill and tap one of the hole to mount it there. And that's how it looks on the inside, just those two, the two that are closest to the camera. That one down there is the throttle pedal, but those two there are what's mounting the coil, so that's not too bad, is it really? Okay, that's enough faffing and mithering over one very minor point. Okay, right, this lead can be taken in and out. This lead can be taken in and out okay. These connectors can go on and off okay, and the throttle pedal can move freely right next to it, so that's okay. Right then, okay, I will try and think of something else to mither over then. Thanks a lot, thanks for joining me in the garage. Cheers then. Right, I don't know if that's any different than the last time I looked at it, but basically I left it loose so it could be moved, kind of got it in position, moved it up and down, and decided that was where I was happiest with it. Not too close to the engine, up away a little bit, I think, and I looked at different angles and looked at different things and decided that's about where I'm happiest with it at the moment. I say at the moment because who knows, it might change, but it's just a coil bracket, you know what I mean? You got to go with something, haven't you? But it'll work, it'll function. It's nice and solid, it's not flexible, it's very you know, solidly supported, so that'll do for that. So I can move on and think about what else to look at now. Okay, so what'll be interesting to me is now I'll look and see if that's actually different than how I had it the last time I looked at it. Okay, right, thanks very much for joining me in the garage then. Look after yourselves and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello, I started on a Mark II version and I've ended up abandoning that, and this is Mark III now, so I think this one will work okay. Okay, hopefully this will be the Mark III version, the final version. It's welded on that side in the middle there, and it's quite obvious that one will go through that hole, that one will go through that hole. Well, in theory, yeah, they go through there like that. So, and then that will go on there like that, I decided it was better to have it nice and square. And I tried a Mark IV version with it a bit higher, but I decided to go back to the Mark III. Okay, right, I'll just bolt that on and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. With this tall thing here and this here, it just looked a bit odd with it at an angle, so I've done it so it fits square. Okay, it's on an angle sloping back, but at least that matches the angle of the firewall. I'm not going to mess about trying to make it fit like that, but that fits okay like that. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Okay, there's the third iteration. I'm happier with that than I was with the previous two, and it's a very simple bracket, so it's not like, you know, you've added loads of metal. You can see that extra little stud down below there. You see that extra little stud there. So yeah, I'm happier with that. Yeah, I'm happy to leave that like that now. That's all right. Righto, I'm going to leave that at that and move on to whatever presents itself next. Thanks very much for following along, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Guess what? Look, here's my coil bracket that I made. I made another one. I decided that for what it would take, I would make a new bracket, lifting the mounting points by 1 inch, and that will allow me to leave the coil exactly where I got it, except move the bracket up to expose the high power logo there. So I made a new bracket, and you can see that that piece that is there is now kind of extended down a bit more, and there's an extra stud below that one, but I thought I would leave it there in case I need like an attachment point for something. If I end up not using it, I can just trim it off. I think that's Mark IV. That's the Mark IV iteration, and I think it looks okay. You know, when you just can't leave things alone. Look, I've took that bracket and drilled a big hole in it now. It's a little bit bulky down that side, but that's the side you can't really see, so I think that's okay. It's one of those where, you know, if you're not happy with something and it's still bugging you after a few days, just start cutting metal and make a new one. I actually had to weld 2 pieces of metal together to get a piece of metal that size, but you know, hey ho, it's all good, isn't it? It's all good. I'm happy with that now. I'm happy with that. Okay, righto, thank you very much for joining me in the garage then. Take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. I'm going to have a go at welding up the fender on the coupe, but I thought I would take the wheel off so the gas flame isn't playing on the tyre. So I'm going to get that wheel off to start, and then I'll have a go. So I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do a bit more. this side is a little bit low compared to that. I think what I'm dealing with is the shrinkage from here has pulled this together. There's a bit of metal behind this. That's about as good as it's going to get, I think. See if I can get a little tack just down here somewhere. The clamps are sucking the heat out of the metal. Oops. Put a hole in it. Oh, what's that dripping out there? Brass? Okay, that's not good, is it? Okay, that's an added complication. Or something. Lead, actually. Okay, hang on. There's lead somewhere. Yeah, this is really thick. This is really thick here. That feels really thick. I'll wire brush that. Don't quite know what's going on there. Don't know where my wire brush is. I'll just keep going regardless. If there's any expert metal workers watching, And basically I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to say this is a how-to. But it is welded together and it is really solid. That bit up there is alright. I need a better dolly than this, a different shape, a domed one. Yeah, there's a very slight lump along the weld, which I'm bringing up higher by constantly hammering it. There's a bit of a hollow there. But I think that'll do. I think for a repair. You can see where there's quite a lot of lead here. I think that's alright. That weld up the middle there was quite good actually. Only down here where it had been welded before and lead loaded and possibly brazed. I just don't know. There's a lot of sort of contamination in the metal. But, you know, hey, better than it gaping open. I'll just put some red primer on that and leave it as is, I think. Or a bit of black on it, I suppose, a bit of black paint. Okay, right. I'll call it good at that for now then. Thanks very much for joining me while I'm doing a bit of tinkering around in the garage. You take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Quick bit of red primer, which looks much more vivid in the camera than it is in real life. So I'll let that dry and then I'll stick a bit of black on it. I'm not going to put any filler on it or anything, just leave it like that. It's a repair. I'm not trying to hide it. Looks like that's welded all along there, doesn't it? Or leaded or something. Really, this whole thing needs to be stripped off back down to bare metal and revisited. I don't fancy doing that though. Oh, no, that's not quite dry. I'll stick a bit of black on it and we'll see what it looks like. I put some matte black, not matte black, I put some satin black paint on the repair. And to be honest, the actual sort of welded bit at the top, it looks pretty good. This, and I'm kind of following the light to give you the reflection along there. There's very little filler rod. It was all done without any filler rod, and it looks worse on the camera than it is in real life. It looks pretty good actually. This area here looks pretty good, and further up looks okay. That area there again looks worse on camera than it is in real life. It doesn't look great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look terrible either. You know, and at a glance, in amongst the sort of whole you know, in amongst the whole sort of patination of the car, it don't look too bad at all really, and is better than a sharp metal edge. You know, when you park it up and people can catch themselves on it and tear the clothes, it's not good. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage then. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Nice little job that. Pleased with that. Bye.